Hey, it's your guy Tyrrell back with the interviews. In today's video, we're going to solely identify where the champions enjoyed success in the opening half and briefly analyze the main tactical theme in Bayern Munich's comfortable 3-0 win over Bayer Leverkusen. But before we get into today's video, don't forget to check out our recent Bayern Munich uploads where we will be providing analysis on the club on a weekly basis, and we apologize for the late upload due to the fact that we were unable to watch the game live. So when we break it all down and we do look at the board, through rotations, you witness a completely new Bayern attacking quartet with Nicolas Jackson ahead of Rafael Guerreiro and Lennart Karl and Serge Gnabry out in the wider areas. And the only other changes that we have witnessed outside of that was that Upamecano was rested, and you witnessed Tom Bischof operating as a left back once again. Leverkusen dropped off into more of a 5-4-1, and here when we simplify things, Bayern did a very good job of getting the ball out into wider areas and then getting their central midfielders away from that midfield bank of four and utilizing their passing ability to get the attacking wide players in advanced positions. Ultimately, when you look at the starting positions of Bayern's attack, what we're going to focus on here was that you often ended up seeing Karl and Gnabry hugging the touchline, with Rafael Guerreiro occupying top Soba, and then in that midfield zone, that's where we'd see some variation, with Laimer occupying the left-sided attacking player, and Bischof shifting into a narrow inside left position, or at best, he was operating ahead of the right center back. In many cases, Bischof was often in that gap between the right central midfielder and the right midfielder, and just ahead of the right center back, but not too advanced. That would leave Goretzka or Kimmich to drop on the outside of the center backs, whether it be on the left or the right, or there were times where you'd simply see Kimmich dropping in between the center backs to get on the ball away from the pressure. Out in the wider areas, Bayern continued to dominate on the side that Laimer was playing fullback on, and here it was from the right side, and you'd often see him looking to make advanced runs and drag away the left-sided midfielder, and that would allow Karl to get the ball in 1v1s. But here, Leverkusen did a very good job of tracking that movement to make it 2v2, and even when they had Rafael Guerreiro looking to make diagonal runs to drag away top Soba, you often saw 3v3 in that zone, and there were even scenarios where they looked to have Jackson or Kimmich stepping in towards that zone, but Leverkusen did a very good job of ensuring that they had numbers and were never overloaded in those areas when their defense was set. Ultimately, it was the same concept for Goretzka and Kimmich. They were dropping into these spaces in the back line to get on the ball freely with no pressure applied, and one would sit centrally, and then we'd see them switch diagonal balls out towards Lennart Karl to get him into 1v1s, as you would have Laimer occupying the left-sided attacking midfielder, or he was simply tucked into narrow positions to keep Leverkusen compact as they were trying to ensure that Bayern couldn't penetrate through central areas. However, the problem that Bayern encountered here was that although they were doing a very good job of bypassing Leverkusen's front five, when Karl was presented in these positions to go 1v1 against the Bayer Leverkusen wingback, it was when Bayern got into these positions in the final third, they failed to execute and they were simply sloppy in possession, and they consistently broke up attacks with their poor decision making. There were two examples in particular where you witnessed the ball being shifted out towards Lennart Karl, and he did get help from Rafael Guerreiro and Laimer's movement. However, when they got themselves in towards that position in the final third at the edge of the penalty area, and in both scenarios they struggled to record a shot on goal. The other key component to Bayern's success here was that the right center back was often free to push forward due to Laimer often occupying Poku. So they had two options here. They could have the right center back pushing forward and drag out Poku, and from there Laimer would be free to receive the ball and then he could carry it forward. Or they could have Laimer occupying Poku and then have the right center back, whether it be Kimmich, Kim, or Goretzka pushing forward, and then having an outlet to slide the ball out towards Lennart Karl to get him in a 1v1 against the wingback. The issue that Bayern encountered here was that Lennart Karl wasn't very good in terms of his productivity for creating chances for players, and his passing was loose in these areas, and even when he was able to break free down the right channel, when he got in towards the final third, his crossing was also failing to meet his teammates. Laimer also did have a few moments where he played loose passes in towards the final third, but the key for Bayern here once again was Laimer, because he was often getting in beyond Poku, and whenever Bayern were able to bypass that midfield bank, he was able to combine with Rafael Guerreiro or Karl and then get into advanced positions, but once again, it was simply the final pass that often let him down. There are instances where you witness Kimmich, Goretzka, or one of the center backs finding Laimer in space beyond Poku, but when he got in towards advanced positions to make the final pass, he simply failed to connect with his teammates, or his crosses towards the penalty area were blocked. There are several scenarios in that opening half where Laimer was able to receive the ball beyond Poku, but when he carried the ball in towards the penalty area, it was the Leverkusen left wing back that was able to get across and often cut out his deliveries. And on the one occasion where Kim was able to bypass Poku to find Laimer in space between the lines, he carried the ball towards the left wing back, dragged him centrally, and then played in Lennart Karl free in right half space, but his pullback in towards that penalty area was easily cleared. While Bayern were able to exploit Leverkusen in transition through Neuer, Bischof, and Gnabry to take the lead, Rafael Guerreiro played a key role as well in ensuring that Bayern were able to claim all 3 points, and you witnessed that in the build-up to their third goal that killed off the game as he shifted over to the left-hand side and was able to combine with Nicolas Jackson. But there was a common theme in 2 of the best chances that Bayern created in that opening half, and it stemmed in transition with Laimer being able to break free down that right-hand side, but also the positioning of Rafael Guerreiro, who was occupying Tapsoba and allowing Nicolas Jackson to be free in a 1v1 with the main center back. First, you witnessed Lennart Karl carrying the ball in transition and sliding the ball out towards Laimer to break forward down that right-hand side. And here he drags away the wingback. But what's important is that he's able to find Rafael Guerreiro in a tight pocket of space just ahead of Tapsoba. He's able to play the ball around the wingback rather than running at him. And from there, you witness Guerreiro instantly playing the ball back towards Lennart Karl as he drags 2 markers towards him. And from here, he creates a legitimate goal-scoring opportunity for Lennart Karl that goes wasted. And in the build-up to the second goal, you witness Kimmich sliding the ball across Laimer for Lennart Karl, who drags away the wingback. And that's when you need to focus on the movement of Laimer making an overlapping run and Guerreiro looking to drag away Tapsoba in towards the penalty area. Now you have 2v2 out and towards that wider area, and you have Rafael Guerreiro and Nicolas Jackson occupying the 2 center backs. This is where you end up witnessing Lennart Karl sliding the ball across the wingback for Laimer, and rather than Laimer looking to take on the wingback 1v1, he now plays a cross over the main center back because you have Rafael Guerreiro halting his movement to keep Tapsoba from getting in towards that 6-yard area. And Laimer's cross is perfect over the main center back, and it allows Nicolas Jackson to finish from point blank range. So as you can see, although this was a straightforward result for Bayern on the evening, the lack of execution in the final third down the right side, where Konrad Laimer was once again a key contributor, may be one of Vincent Kompany's sole worries headed into their big clash against PSG, granted they were resting key players.